We back and we back. Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jude, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late.
Coming to you live, putting on for the city.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late.
And it's coming home to Texas. It's coming home all the way to Austin, Texas, baby.
All right, man, we are back with another edition of Season 5 of the 2-Hour Lunch Break Podcast, powered by 6 Square ATX. We're a podcast for Austin, from Austin, brought to you around the world. We're back at home base, East Austin, Texas. I'm one half of the, I'm Tribal with Zeus, one half of the 2-Hour Lunch Break Podcast, and I got my co-host.
Saint, what up?
And we got a special guest in the building, someone who has turned her passion into creativity and her love for bringing people together into a thriving business. She's the founder of MeridaBEvents, a full-service event planning company specializing in everything from corporate and social events to mobile bartending and even wedding officiant services. Born and raised in Austin, Texas, she graduated from Wiley College with a degree in hospitality administration. Okay. And since then, she's been making her mark on the event planning scene, working with major brands and landing high-profile events such as Afrotech. She's known for her attention to detail, her ability to turn any vision into reality, and her commitment to staying true to her entrepreneurial journey, no matter the challenges. We're so excited to dive into her story today, hear more about the incredible work that she's doing, and find out what's next for her ever-growing brand. Mm-hmm. Please welcome to the show, Merida. How are you doing today?
What's up?
I'm doing great. I'm blessed. That was a hell of an introduction.
You know, we got a special guest. We want to, roll out the red carpet. So we appreciate you, taking time out of your busy schedule, to come chop it up with us.
Absolutely. Of course. Blessings to be here.
Thank you. So let's start off with your background, right?
Okay.
As we talked about a few moments ago, we know you graduated from Wiley. It seemed like from there, that's where you started off your entrepreneurial journey. Can you share with us how your passion influenced your business and overall event planning?
Definitely. So when I went to Wiley, I was like any other college student, broke, eating noodles, all the things, right? And I was like, it's got to be a little bit more to life. At the time, I was into designing custom bow ties, which kind of inadvertently led me to do events. With that, I took my refund check and I found a kind little guy that was from Marshall, Texas. I fed him this idea. I was like, man, you have this barbershop with this empty room. You should let me flip this check. I'll pay you majority of it. If you give me a 6-month lease, allow me to rent this space out. He agreed to it. I turned that space into a full boutique. So I was a full-time student running this boutique on the side.
Oh, wow.
And 6 months turned into 2.5 years. It just turned into so many things. Like outside of the space, there was like this big area, and I started doing everything from fashion shows, poetry events. It just led to so many amazing opportunities, and the school was full of creatives, and they just fully, wholeheartedly supported me in everything I was doing. Yeah. So I was literally going to like different Goodwills all over East Texas, purchasing these clothes, flipping them. Yeah. Paying my bills and hosting these events. And I was like, I really like doing events. And my degree at the time was in business and hospitality. So as I was learning, I was kind of, installing those things into my everyday. And that just kind of took off from there. And I was like, I like this. I like doing my own thing. So.
That's what's up.
Okay, so kind of piggybacking off of that, I know we were talking off air. We do a lot of research, right? So I know there was another interview you had done in the past, and in that interview, you said, you're in the early stages of doing, your event planning business. A big challenge for you was, charging, learning to charge, your worth, right? And with that said, how did you learn to overcome that, and like what kind of advice would you have for like just an entrepreneur in general that struggles with that,
To be honest, it started to be like a slap in the face to spend that much time pursuing or doing an event. And then when it came to pay my bills, I didn't have no money. That was like that was like straight up. I'm like, so what did I just do? Like, it looks good on paper, but it was like my bills aren't being paid, right? And I'm like, and then as I'm doing research, I charge somebody a couple of $100 because I'm nervous to, incorporate my worth. And then I'm seeing someone on the other side and they're charging thousands of dollars and they're booked and busy. And what I'm learning is, you do have to find your people, and time is money. Like me going to school, learning these things, that's money. Like this efforts, these certifications, like insurance for these businesses, LLCs, that's all costs, right? So in a way, you have to incorporate all of that on top of all the work that you're gonna do behind the event. And I just kind of started shooting my shot. Like, it's like I'd rather hear 10 no's and that one yes than keep selling myself short. And then it's like I'm devaluing myself. So if I'm afraid, a lot of people sometimes won't even work with you because you're so cheap. They're like, if you this cheap, something's got to be wrong. Like, and that's kind of odd to say, but when you hear that, or when somebody literally tells you, "Oh, I'm gonna go with you because you're $1,500 cheaper than the last quote I got," you're like, "Well, who was that person? Because what are they charging for?" So when you start like really digging and doing like some comparison, it's like, you know what? I'd rather go high and have to go down from that way rather than starting at a low ball. And then it's like, you can't go, down from starting at a low cost. So I kind of I jumped out there. I had to hop in there.
There we go. Shit, I'm gonna swim.
I say, I gotta find out. So
yeah. Speaking of which, as a business creator and curator, right, of events and programs, how do you juggle like the operational logistics and then also some of the challenges that come up with events? I know we just talked a few moments ago off air. You like, yo, somebody wants me to do this event more and more and more, but I'm like, wait a minute, there's a lot in showcasing all of this. How do you deal with it?
I think becoming a mom really taught me how to do like work-life balance, right? I have a daughter. She's about to be 7 on Monday. And I think she really taught me time management. And you really learn that time is money and how to eliminate procrastination. Like, you are really selling yourself short the more. And then when people say, well, we have the same 24 hours, you start kind of like reading like these self-help books and just live like little tidbits, like teach you that structure. Like, to be a successful event planner, organization is everything. Time management is money. Like, when people are paying you for something, you ever walk into an event 30 minutes late, the way that somebody will look at you, it's like, oh. And then you just feel bad because it's like, from that 30 minutes, it's like you're rushing to do everything. You're not organized. You're all over the place. You kind of like lost the structure. So for me, calendar. Even hanging out with my friends, if it is not on my calendar, it does not exist. And I'm like, we're at that level of excellence, we'll say, and adulting. And it's like, yeah, girl, we can do happy hour, but I'm gonna send you a calendar invite because otherwise it genuinely will slip my mind. You know what I mean? And life happens.
It's break time.
And then also being intentional with just like my mental health, that plays a major part too. So like, when I leave here, I'm going to do some yoga. And then I know I have to get back to it. So I'm just very intentional with how I use my time, and I think that's been very beneficial to me.
I like that. I like that. Okay. All right. So let's talk MeridaBEvents. Right.
Okay.
So I know, in the intro, we were talking about all your services. I know you said corporate and social events, mobile bartending, and even officiating weddings, right? So you got a lot of pots on the stove, right? So with that said, though, how did you develop like such a diverse set of offerings? What made you come to that conclusion? Like, I want to do all these different things under this one umbrella.
It's almost like going to Pizza Hut. They're not gonna just serve you one pizza, right? They got pizza, they got pasta, they got breadsticks. They got vegetarian options. They got meat lovers. And for me, I'm like, hell, what are we doing? Like, yes, I can plan events, but I also can decorate your events. And then I became a notary, and you know, notaries have extreme power, probably more power than a lot of people are aware of. And then with becoming a notary, I discovered, oh, you can officiate weddings. And I'm like, okay, all you gotta do is read a script. Like it's genuinely that, you know what I mean? I don't probably do that one as often, but I can also outsource other officiants too, which I tend to do. Like, if I can't do it, I'll pass it. I've never been the type to like block on anybody. It's like I want to see everybody win. And so for me, I was like, well, if people are coming to me, I'm watching money kind of go through my pocket. If someone's like, well, I would like to hire you, but do you know somebody that decorates? And I'm like, hell, I decorate. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean? Like me or like my team?
Let me turn around.
You know?
Right.
So at one point it was just like me, myself, and then it got to a point where I was able to extend that. So now I have like staff, I have bartenders. At one point I even had a mobile hookah business, and that kind of went crazy. We were doing so many venues at one time, and I was like, okay, this kind of insane. And I kind of cut back on that, but being able to staff the events, it matters a lot, and having like people that have consistently stuck by my side, believe in my goals and visions. I mean, I pay pretty damn good, if you ask me. I'm like, hey, if I could pay you this now, just imagine what I could pay you next year if you keep rolling with me. So, and they see the vision, so I'm just grateful. Like, God just plants the people in my life that I need, and you know, that's kind of helped me to just keep going and growing.
There we go.
Yeah.
Speaking of going and growing, what do you think sets you apart? MeridaBEvents sets you apart in this competitive Austin market from other event planners?
I'm assuming Austin is a pretty crowded market when it comes to that.
Yes and no. Honestly, I think like my faith, I would say that, like my faith, my personality. I'm just a very like genuine, heartfelt person. So if I am working with you, it's never about the money. Like, I want to make sure that we're genuinely a good fit for someone. If you got all the money in the world, but your spirit is nasty, I might just pass, right? Because or if you ain't got no budget, because it's always some cheap ass people that don't want to pay. And it's like, how you trying to work me more than,
They'll try to
and
get
you
over
didn't
on
even
you.
pay. I done gave you a deal and a discount, and you want to run it up? Like, no. So I do, like, as I get clients, I pray before signing that contract. Like, show me that this is someone that's for me, because depending on the project or the event, we could be working together for 6-7 months. That's a long time of dealing with someone else's energy. And if your spirit is off, I'm cool on that, because you're not about to, you know what I'm saying, stress me out. So just being very intentional. And God just keep bringing me my people. You know, I remember when I was getting maybe one phone call every 3 to 6 months, and I'm like, okay, this can't be it. I know you got more for me than that. Now I'm like literally putting my phone on do not disturb, a hard stop.
Now.
I have consultation times. If you do not reach me between these hours, we cannot talk at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that.
9 to 5, she said.
Right. Yeah. What's my office hours?
Yeah. You got to do that. You know what I mean? Because people, they don't think you sleep. It's like, I have a life too.
I could see somebody hitting you and be like, yeah, when you bring out the hookah, I need the sparkles. But when the sparkles come out, I need you to make certain that y'all dancing.
Right.
You relax. You know what I mean? Like,
you're doing a lot.
Yeah, just chill, you know. I can make that happen for a fee. Nothing's impossible, you know. Yeah.
Okay. So, kind of shifting gears a little bit, right? So I know, like I said, we do our research, right? And I know in the past, you've spoken about like the importance of networking in building your brand, right? So with that said, can you share like a key relationship that may have like, opened some doors up for you?
Definitely. My favorite saying is your network is your net worth. And the doors have opened for me because not what I know, but who I know. And again, like that energy you pour into the world, it does come back, wholeheartedly. I mean, there's an unlimited amount of connections that I've made, but that's kind of a tough one to answer. I don't just have a specific person, but I do think that the people that I choose to surround myself with are all kind of like I'll say key holders, right? And so with that, it's easier to make moves when you're surrounded by the right people. Definitely that comes with growth and learning as a young adult. When you're young, dumb, you're just hanging out with who's cool and who's cute, who can get you in the next hot spot. That doesn't hold no value when it starts coming down to business. So I want people that challenge me, people that are in the same type of spaces, and then like I was sharing with you all with my new opportunity working for Houston Tillerson, that's a full circle moment. Going from an HBCU to now working for the only HBCU in my hometown. I mean, the plugs are indefinite. The kind of opportunities coming through. I'm like, I just got 2 free ACL passes just today.
That's love.
I'm like,
Mad at it.
I've
There we
never
go.
been to ACL, and look at me, VIP. Okay,
Right.
like so.
That's love.
Yeah, that's
what's up.
just kind of how it's working for me. It's working in my favor.
So how does that feel to see that your business is growing with this recognition, right? I know you just talked about HT. We talked about Afro Tech, all the other experiences, Austin Fashion Show, right? How does it feel to see this, vision that you had in your brain at one point in time, just handling this business for you, serving you?
I feel blessed. I'm just grateful, wholeheartedly. I'm grateful. I'm like truly a reflection of faith. Like if you ask me, I'm like, this is what faith looks like. Like so many days I'm like, this is just not making sense, but I'm trusting it, and I believe that this is like my purpose is through this. Like my purpose is making connections, right? Like connecting those dots and just seeing where not giving up will take you. Because man, you know how you think back to those moments where I'm like, man, I'm done. I'm gonna give up. Like, I remember applying to 8-to-5s that was nowhere in the field or industry, and I'm going to work every day, miserable, unhappy, pissed. Like, now I'm at work, I can be fly. I can talk to people that look like me. You know what I mean? Like, you need me. You know what I mean? And it's just like a full circle moment. So. Yeah, I'm just grateful. I cry a lot. I'm gonna lie. I cry. Happy tears though. Happy tears. Yeah. So.
So I know we had talked about work-life balance a little bit earlier, but let's kind of dig deeper into that, right? So I know the business of event planning. I know you give a lot of yourself, just the nature of the business. Also, you're a businesswoman. You're a mother. All these other things. Like I said, you got a lot of pots on the stove, right? So. How do you go about like recharging? Like if I need, like if I'm Merida, I need to take a break. What do I do? Do I go to the gym? Do I go hang out with my homegirls and get some wine? Do I sit on the couch chilling, watching bad TV? Like what does that look like for you?
Man, can I say all of the above?
Okay.
No, crazy. I don't watch TV. TV, it put me to sleep. It's boring as hell. Growing up, I was not allowed to watch TV Monday through Friday, and so as an adult, it just bores me. Like I put a good movie on, but honestly, I recharge by spending time with my family, going to church. I wake up every morning between 4:30 and 5 to work out before I have to wake my daughter up to go to school. I do yoga and Pilates a lot. That's kind of my new jam. I enjoy, different fitness activities or just being outdoors, detaching myself from devices, right? Like not having my cell phone or either one of my laptops. That just makes me feel like, ooh, I can relax. And I love a good trip. And then I'm just intentional about that time. Like I put a hard block. Do not disturb, I'm unavailable. I'll even give like a PSA to my parents. I love my child with all my heart. But hey, this day, 24 hours, I'm not talking to none of y'all. I'm cool. Just know I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? If it makes you feel safer, I will share my location. But sometimes I just don't want to talk. I'm like, I have to talk to people from the time I wake up to the time I rest. And it's like, sometimes I just need that time to just be. You know what I mean? And over time learning that helps me to kind of, stay grounded. So, yeah.
Circling back to like all these events and having these communications and conversations, I was curious, the Beards and Bow Ties, how did that birth? Where did that come from? And where do you say, these two are going to connect for me? I'm going to make an event.
It's kind of both. So I designed custom bow ties for 11 years. Again, me being broke, I'm a person, I'm like supply, demand. I needed a bow tie for an event. I didn't see none that I liked. I was like, these are all whack and boring. So I went to the fabric store, and crazy part, I still have that bow tie till today. And it just kind of reminds me of so many moments, right? Because, yeah, it was a lot going on in my life. Nonetheless, I made the bow tie, and it grew into something way bigger than I ever expected. And it started at Wiley. All my classmates were like, Merida, make me a bow tie for this, you know? So I started making all these bow ties. After 10 free ones, I was like, I'm about to charge y'all, you know, I can make a bow tie. So it's like, and I started making bow ties out of any and everything. Like, you give me an old t-shirt, old pair of pants, cigar wrappers. I mean, anything and everything that you could think of. If I could fold it, I would make it. You know, chains, embellishments, all the things. I mean, you were in my, I believe, very first one. So, and then with me liking to do events, I was like, man, this is a whole lane. Like, people really like bow ties. It's a Renaissance piece. Like, it's one of the original pieces of fashion. And then I started doing some research, and I was like, man, I bet you some other people out here that like bow ties too. And then I found several other bow tie designers, and I reached out to them. Hey, I ain't got no money, but I'm putting together this event. Would you like to participate? And they all jumped for it, because it was like I was creating a platform for them to highlight their brands and their companies. And I mean, that event was live. I mean, we packed it out. It was insane. And it was just one of those visions that came to mind, and I you know, well, God watered it for me. And to see how it just grew. Like, I mean, we had so many dudes. It had to be like 20, 25 models easily. In that show, like 5 to 7 designers. It was a big deal. And so, again, just really trusting yourself and drowning out that outside noise. And it's like, if that vision is placed on your heart, and it's something that, like, you can't go to sleep at night, right? Like, because it's so just on your mind. That is something that you're supposed to do. And oftentimes people will try to, like, they're praying for something, right? And then it comes to you, but then you're ignoring. It's like when you say, God, talk to me. Well, I'm yelling at you, but you're still, you know what I mean? You're choosing to not listen to me. And me, one of those people, I never have put the value of, like, money or anything behind my dreams. I'm like, well, if there's a will, there's a way. And it always happens. Like, it will seem like, how am I about to do this? I got the math ain't mathing, you know? And things just kind of fall into your lap. So I went from doing that event to out of pocket to this last one that I did. I got awarded a grant. I didn't have to spend nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like, you learn over time, and just the power of not giving up, to be honest.
All right, so let's talk about the future. Right? So, you know, as of right now, you know, you got MeridaBEvents. You know, you got all these different services. You got a lot of projects moving. You got the HT project that you were just talking about. But with that said, let's talk about the, you know, what does 5 years look like? You know, 5 years from now look like for you? What does 10 years from now look like for you? Can you kind of expound on that a little bit?
Definitely. So I would say in 5 years, I definitely want to have my own event venue. I'd say probably in the next 3, to be fair. Like, I want to have my own event space. I think that there's a really big demand for that in Austin. And there's far and few here, but not many that are owned by us. And so with that being said, I want to have a space that feels safe to curate our ideas and execute our visions. Of course, it'll be open to everyone, but for us, by us. You feel me? And then on a larger scale, I really want to kind of have almost like a form of like a event production company. Like, if you have something like yourselves going on, we can literally help just take it to scale it on another magnitude, right? And I'm still praying about what that looks like, but I really want to be able to help brand businesses. So whether it's a YouTube channel, a clothing line, like all the things, like just really help you to take that seed and like grow it to the biggest platform that you can make it. And having the right staff and people around me that are able to help execute those visions. So
Gotcha. That's what's up. That's what's up. So we always talk on this podcast about legacy, you know, leaving your brand, leaving your mark. And it seems like you're influential and very passionate about that. What would you tell like your younger self, right? If I knew then what I knew now type question, what would you tell your younger self? Some knowledge or some wisdom and tidbits.
Ooh, man. It's okay to be different.
Okay.
I've always been the oddball, the black sheep. I've always tested the line, no never meant no to me. I talked a lot. I always dressed differently. I was just like unique. I've just always been myself. Right now, I get paid to talk.
Amen.
Now I get paid to dress weird. You know, it's like everything comes in like a full circle moment. And honestly, raising my daughter, my parents did a phenomenal job raising me and my sister. Hands down to them. Love them to death. But in becoming a parent, you get to look at it from a different aspect. And so when your kid want to wear a Cinderella dress with rain boots and it's 98 degrees outside, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it is like, go in that room and put something else on. And then at other times, it's like, well, hey, they're a kid.
Right.
And giving them the option to express themselves, you don't realize how much power you're really giving them. And I love the fact that I'm able to allow my daughter to have options because I watch how confident she feels when I allow her to be who she is, right? So it's literally like, in speaking to my younger self, I'm speaking to her because she's so much like me, and you know she's fun, she's outgoing, she's very strong-willed at a very young age. I want to do her hair in a bun, and she want to wear pigtails. I'm not finna go back and forth with you, you know what I mean? But I notice more or less, even making her lunch, just allowing her to choose and her feeling in power of those choices. I get to see how much that will benefit her as she gets older. And so, you know, we were raised, if I tell you something, you know, you be quiet. What I say goes, and that's just the end all be all. You know, we ask our kids, what do you want for dinner? We didn't get all that. You gonna come in this kitchen and eat the plate that is on the table. And all that, I don't like this and that. Well, don't eat it. Or you gonna sit there till you eat it because you need to find a way to like it. And that's just the end of that. And it's not to say, like, again, you get it as an adult, but to a degree, it's like, well, damn, I just don't like it. Is that okay not to like? So I think just learning, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to go against the grain. You don't have to follow the crowd. I think that's what I would tell my younger self. Yeah.
Okay. So let's shift gears a little bit. We're gonna hit you with the this or that segment. We're gonna hit you with some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So this or that, and of course, once you answer, you gotta say why you gave the answer that you gave.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and kick it off.
All right, here we go. Small intimate gatherings or large corporate?
Small intimate gatherings. I say that because I went to a small HBCU.
Yeah.
I had the kind of teachers that would literally come to your door. Why your ass ain't been in class? Like that, you know? We gave that auntie and uncle feel. And for me, I was like, I kind of need that, right? Because I'm slipping. You're right. Let me know. And I just like that more personal feel. It's like, we grew up in a world without all this social media and stuff. It annoys me when I have friends that keep up with me on social media, but deep down, you don't even have a clue what's going on in my real reality. So it's like, pick up the phone, call me, check on me, you know? So that's how I feel.
Word.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Indoor venues or outdoor venues?
Ooh, it depends on the event itself.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of both. I like outdoors. I'm a patio sitting kind of person. Okay. But in this Texas heat, I'm gonna have to go inside.
I know it.
Yeah.
Classic elegance or like a bold, trendy design?
In what regards?
Just attire.
Definitely bold and trendy.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to see people. I love self-expression. Like, classy is amazing, but I think even in that, you can be bold and trendy. So for sure, bold and trendy. Yeah.
Okay. Coordinating weddings or corporate events?
Definitely corporate events. I don't got time for these bridezillas, man. They be,
Oh man, I know it.
and it's
Good,
I'm like, girl, nah. You know?
I know it.
Yeah, that's a little different. So
My wife said I was a bridezilla. That's crazy.
I was gonna say the dudes be worse than the women
Hubzilla.
sometimes. You're like,
Hubzilla.
oh man.
Thugzilla.
Yeah, these men be having super opinions. They be looking at the wife. She be like, "Whatever you want." I'm like, "Oh, girl, please."
Dang,
But
that's
anyway,
crazy.
you know, teach
Well,
his
maybe
own.
maybe I was. I don't know. Mobile bartending or wedding officiating?
Mobile bartending. It's lit. You get to meet so many people. The drunker people get, the more they want to tell you.
Oh, of course. I
And
bet.
then that also leads to just so many other opportunities.
That's
So
what's
for
up.
sure, bartending.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Planning the perfect party or attending one as a guest.
Planning, because that's my passion. I like to see something leave off of a paper, a piece of idea, to the execution of it. Exhausting, but it's just worth it. So
big
it's like
payoff.
paint an empty canvas
Okay,
for
so,
sure.
gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Day or nighttime events?
Man, I'd probably say evening to nighttime. Because people act differently outside of those corporate hours. I like to see the real you. So
I got you.
yeah, probably nighttime.
I got you.
Okay. Let's go. DIY decor or working with professional vendors.
Probably DIY. I mean, but to a degree, it's still working with some form of vendor. But I just like to see that authentic creativity, not that same played out.
Right.
Like how many times we've
Just a
seen the
template,
same
yeah.
boring linen, you know? So, yeah, I like the uniqueness of
Okay.
events. So,
Gotcha.
Live band or DJs?
man, I'm not gonna lie, DJs.
Really?
Yeah, I love going to DJ sets. We went to New Orleans to see through Mardi Gras just to see
Okay.
this one DJ, DJ Antwiggity. He actually comes to Austin a few times, but like I like going to Soho for all their DJ events and stuff.
Dope.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's go. Handwritten invitations or digital invites.
Man, let's just go digital. Paper is exhausting. It's gonna
know
get
it.
lost. I got so many things on my refrigerator. Don't nobody
Right.
do nothing more. Just send me a little Evite. Let me click it and save it to the. Yeah, I'd rather that.
All right, I got one more for you.
Okay.
Beards and bow ties or soiree?
And I'm gonna go with beards and bow ties. It's me, baby. Like what? I mean, at this point, I feel like in my mind that is my baby.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? So I mean, to me, it is a soiree.
Yeah.
You haven't been,
God,
you
it
gonna
is.
want to be there.
It
You know
is.
what I mean? So yeah, definitely beards and bow ties.
Crazy little event. I will
Right.
say that.
Right.
It's lit.
Okay. And we got final question of the night. Right.
Okay.
We talked about this off air. But now you got a chance to come to the show, have good conversation, good vibes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, with that said, who do you think would be a good guest for the podcast in the future? Now, but before you answer,
Okay.
it has to be somebody, in your phone, in your contacts. You can be like, hey, I pulled up on the 2-hour lunch break. You need to go holler at them, get on the show. Who would that person or people be?
It would be this young lady I know by the name of Aspen Nobles. She actually has an art exhibit event coming up. I want to say in November.
Okay.
Yeah, in November. I'm gonna be bartending that one.
Nice.
But to me, Aspen's kind of been like a mentee to me. She's someone that when we met, we just kind of clicked, and over time, I've seen her development, and she has a very broad skill set. So she does like photography, videography, just very intelligent, very just genuine, good-spirited person. And this art exhibition that she's doing actually held here. It'll be here at Dawa Studios. So just watching her really just step out there. I remember one of our first conversations and she was just like, how do you do it? Like, what do you, she just inquired so much and I'm just like, just call me. And she's like, really? And I'm like, girl, yeah, like, and I feel the more humble you remain, the better things just work out for you. But I'm just loving to watch her do her thing. She's getting to network and work with so many different people. And for me, I'm like, that's what it's all about. And I see a lot of myself in her. So I think she would be a perfect candidate. to speak with you guys.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I say Aspen, pull up on us.
Aspen. Yeah.
Plug your social media so everybody know where to find you.
Yes, so you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at MeridaBEvents. That's MERIDA.B events. I'm currently revamping my website. So for right now, that's just kind of like my go-to platforms, and then we just kind of go from there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that wraps up another edition of 2 Hour Lunch Break Podcast. Once again, want to give a special shout out to Merida B for joining us here. And shout out to the production behind the boards, Cafe Yodo. All episodes of the 2 Hour Lunch Break Podcast can be found on all digital streaming platforms. But before we go, we want to give a special shout out to 6 Square, serving Austin's Black Cultural District. And you can find them at 6 Square ATX. As we talked about before, all episodes of 2 Hour Lunch Break can be found on IG at 2HLB Pod and on X at the 2 Hour Lunch. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Yeah.
And it's coming home to Texas. It's coming home all the way to Austin, Texas, baby.